Initial impact happened right here in front of Mary Munford Elementary School. Fortunately, the kids were still inside. Had it been 45 minutes later when students were being dismissed, this crash could have been catastrophic. Juan and Kristina, these court records really tell the story. The criminal complaints against the suspects indicate that this investigation has been going on for nearly 2 months and that FBI agents went undercover pretending they were going to sell the weapons to these men for that alleged attack. Now, the idea behind the baby carriers is to lighten the load, so to speak, for Syrian refugees. We're talking about people who are fleeing from their homes, carrying everything they can, including their children. If you can put a carrier on a parent, they can safely carry their child, and that frees up their hands to carry what they can from their homes. And you know what they say, if you can't beat them, join them. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to send it back to Darielle. See you guys.
Oh, wait, we got to see you. We got to see you.
Hold it.
Come on. Woo!
She's moving. Oh, she held on to it.
Obviously, the arrest of Martise Johnson has angered and upset a lot of students at UVA. We saw that at last night's rally on grounds, and then again today when students united and demanded to be heard.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
Nearly 100 students marching with one message: Black Lives Matter. Protesters took their voices across UVA grounds.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
Black and white, they hope to bridge a racial divide.
I'm just here as an ally for a lot of my friends, and I really believe in this because Black Lives Matter.
Hands up! Don't shoot!
So students marched on and in a number of UVA buildings, like the University Library, where protesters proclaimed that injustices based on someone's color, ethnicity, or sexual preference must stop.
Not only Black Lives Matter, but all lives matter, and not everyone on grounds understands that concept.
We must love each other and support each other!
At the end of the march, students also spoke critically of the university, many arguing that UVA doesn't value black lives as much as it does white. Students insist that what happened today was not just a protest, it was not just a march. They are calling it a movement. They say they are going to insist that the university make changes to end inequality on campus. Reporting live from Charlottesville, I'm Kristin Smith. Well, the story here today wasn't what attorneys told the judge or how the judge ruled on motions. It was a compassionate moment between Jesse Matthews' mom and Morgan Harrington's.
A vortex of pain and suffering that the center of it is Jesse Matthew.
Jill Harrington has attended every trial, every hearing since Jesse Matthew Jr.'s arrest, always believing he killed her daughter Morgan. Today, Harrington did what some might find unthinkable. She reached out to his mother.
I looked his mother in the eye and said, I realize this is difficult for your family as well. My condolences. And I shook her hand.
Harrington says it was the right thing to do. Both families in court for procedural motions involving Matthew's murder trials for UVA student Hannah Graham and the Harrington's daughter. The judge set the trial for their case on October 24th of next year.
It's nice to see that we are moving our case forward. I think that makes us feel.
There's definitely relief in it.
But the Harringtons say they prefer their pursuit of justice end before trial with a plea deal.
If we look at, we have the next year to still be swinging on this pendulum, slow-moving process of court. That's a long time for us to keep this ball rolling.
Morgan was killed nearly 6 years ago, so it has been a long, emotional road for her parents. They believe a plea deal in their case and in Hannah Graham's would be the most humane thing for all of the families involved.
I am not laughing. I am there.
The video is painful to watch. A Powhatan school bus driver not only screaming at a 7-year-old special needs student, but slapping him in the face.
You do not hit. No. You do not hit. That is not nice.
And if you find this disturbing, imagine how the child's parents feel.
It was utter shock and disbelief.
Just hearing about it's bad enough, but it was truly awful to have to see that done to your son.
Lane and Sherry Kelly say their autistic son was traumatized by what happened on the school bus back on May 5th. He told them the driver hit him. The couple complained to the school, an investigation began, and once they pulled video from the bus cameras, the driver lost her job.
It's challenging being the parent of a special needs child, but you know, having it turn into something like this is something I wouldn't wish on anyone.
This is the school bus driver, 44-year-old Pamela Weeks, the woman on the right, walking into court this morning. Weeks pled no contest to charges of assault and battery against the child. Then a judge sentenced her to 3 months in jail for a misdemeanor against what he called the most vulnerable victim.
Definitely satisfied. It would have been better for me personally if there had been an apology for what had happened, which there wasn't. But yes, we're satisfied.
Because this was a misdemeanor, Weeks could have gotten off without any jail time. As it is, she will likely only serve 45 days, half of her 3-month sentence. She's also been ordered not to have any kind of supervisory role with children for the next 3 years. You know, someone equated the Pope's visit with a wedding. You know about it well in advance, you plan for it, you get excited about it, and then it's here and gone in a heartbeat. But oh, what an experience we had this week with the Holy Father in Washington. It all started with that little Fiat. Pope Francis humbly riding the streets of Washington in a more modest vehicle than his security detail. But once he upgraded to the Pope-mobile, the pontiff sparked a frenzy. Here he is waving to 25,000 plus followers while entering the Basilica on Wednesday.
Just seeing him come on his motor, on his Pope-mobile is just incredible.
It was pretty amazing to be with the Pope. That's all I can say. I was in tears.
Witnesses to history. Everyone here watched as the Holy Father canonized the first Catholic saint on U.S. soil. A pinch yourself kind of moment that left the crowd energized and even God's most faithful servants in awe.
To be right in front of the Pope. Wow, it is amazing, so fulfilling. I'm so grateful to God that I came here today.
If the memories weren't enough, there were souvenirs.
Looks like Pope Francis' baby doll.
Commemorative tokens of a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
When I was a kid, I used to have a Batman with a Batmobile, so I figured what better thing to have than the Pope with a Pope-mobile.
Give love to everyone around you. Take care of those who have less than you. Those were some of the messages from Pope Francis this week. It's too soon to see if people are going to take those words to heart and if his visit will have a true Francis effect. But one thing is guaranteed, and that is the people of New York City and Philadelphia are in for quite a celebration. Live in Washington, Kristin Smith, 8 News.
8 News reporter Kristin Smith is here with the story.
I think you're going to like this one. Dana Griffin Graves wanted to come up with a special way to let her husband know they were expecting a baby. Then she secretly recorded his reaction. But what makes this story even more remarkable is just how long this couple has waited for a child of their own.
There's some stuff in the oven, too.
What's in the oven?
It was the dinner surprise of a lifetime.
You pregnant?
Arkell Graves learning he's going to be a dad after his wife Dana planted the baby's ultrasound photo right next to buns in the oven.
Due February 16th.
Come here.
And it's a boy. His reaction was just priceless. I wasn't expecting that at all. I knew that he would probably be emotional, but I definitely was not expecting the reaction that I received.
I've never been that excited before in my life. And I mean, not mainly for myself, for her.
tears of joy after the Dinwiddie couple struggled for nearly 17 years to have a child. Dana suffered 4 miscarriages and a stillbirth.
It was definitely a struggle, a roller coaster with emotions going back and forth. And I just got to the point I was like, you know what, I want to stop trying.
So she was shocked to find out last week that she's nearly 5 months pregnant. Dana secretly recorded her husband's reaction to share with family. But that video is now on the verge of going viral.
Lady just came up to me and said, "You the guy was on there crying. Everything is going to be okay. I'm praying for you."
It shows that God is able to do any and all things, you know, so I'm grateful. And I said, if it can help someone else and give them hope that it can happen, then, you know, that's what it's about.
Dana's doctor says all is going well with her pregnancy. Their little boy is due in February. On a bitter, cold day, police say Realtor Sarah Reeves walked into a home bundled up in a coat and hat, but no gloves. That's curious because minutes later, she's wearing gloves when she walks into the master bedroom, turns off the light, and disappears in the bathroom. The owner of the home in this West End neighborhood didn't want to appear on TV, but he suspects Reeves didn't want to leave fingerprints. Cut to camera footage downstairs. Reeves opens the pantry door, looks inside, grabs a bottle of a prescription painkiller, and takes it into the kitchen. According to the homeowner, Reeves poured about 1/3 of the bottle into a container, then put it in her purse.
Police were then called, looked over the surveillance video, and we were able to place 2 charges for what they saw on that video.
The 47-year-old realtor is charged with felony drug possession and petty larceny, a misdemeanor. She's an agent at this Long and Foster office on Grove Avenue. The manager there telling us no comment. But the CEO of the Richmond Association of Realtors did.
This is just, you know, one bad apple, but this is not at all reflective of the profession.
Lafayette adds that most realtors are trustworthy, but suggests if you're selling your house, you protect what's important inside. You don't know who will be coming in to see your home.
As far as valuables go, jewelry, cash, they should be in a safe box, again, under lock and key. It's just smart to take that kind of basic precaution.
We reached out to Reeves and her attorney, but didn't get a reply. The homeowner has filed a complaint against Reeves with the state agency that licenses realtors. If convicted, she could lose her real estate license. Christina? On a playground full of children, it's still easy to be lonely. Kids don't always feel like they fit in. But at Tussing Elementary School in Colonial Heights, there's a special spot designed to bring the kids together.
Well, whenever you don't have a friend, you can come over here and sit on it, and then people will come over, and then you'll have a friend.
It is a friendship rock, a place where students can build relationships.
What are you two doing?
It is a visual reminder to be friends and work together.
Principal David Staples put the rock on the playground after seeing a story about another one at a school in Massachusetts. The concept is simple. Kids who are feeling lonely or excluded go to the rock, then other children respond.
You can make friends easily by just sitting on the rock.
Not only does the friendship rock help the children bond, it boosts their self-confidence.
So it's been a nice way for them to try to solve that problem and help fill a friend's bucket to make their day a little bit brighter.
In essence, it is so none of us have to be lonely. If that's the message that gets out there, then that rock is like gold.
From the Friendship Rock, Kristin Smith, 8 News.
Parents of young athletes know injuries are a part of the game, but could the field your child plays on be more dangerous than the sport itself?
Tonight we take a look at a possible connection between synthetic turf and cancer. Here's 8 News investigative reporter Kristin Smith.
Goalkeeper Lindsay Romiggs suffered her fair share of injuries in front of the net.
But there are some who suggest the sport is not as dangerous as the synthetic turf she's playing on.
I think we really want to raise the profile of this issue and make sure that it's coming to people's attention.
Virginia Delegate Marcus Simon wants the Commonwealth to take a closer look at crumb rubber turf, artificial blades of grass held together and cushioned by these rubber crumbs.
They're everywhere, and they're just little pieces of tire. You know, I can't just throw the tire into the creek, or I can't throw it into the trash. It all has to be, handled as if it's toxic material. And yet, sort of, here we are dumping it back onto the fields,
right,
letting our kids roll around in it.
When I'm diving, usually it'll get inside like the pocket of my pants, and then sometimes like in my sports bra and just like wherever I'm going.
While there's no scientific proof that crumb rubber turf is dangerous, this Washington State soccer coach has compiled a list of 38 American soccer players, 34 of them goalies, who have been diagnosed with cancer. All of them played on crumb rubber turf.
Scientifically, is there enough data here to promote a trend, or is it just an anecdote? I don't know that, and that's again one of the reasons I think we need to have more study.
Earlier this year, Delegate Simon introduced a bill aimed at preventing the installation of any more crumb rubber fields in Virginia, at least until the Department of Health could investigate the potential risks. The measure failed.
Let's take a step back. Let's make sure we really understand what we're having our kids play on before we continue to invest in this technology.
Most of the crumb rubber fields in the Richmond area are at private schools and sports facilities, but there are two in Chesterfield County's Stratton Park, where we found parents aware of the concerns but not overly worried.
I can't say that's one of my biggest issues. When you have other issues like concussions and roughness of the game, I guess that's not on the high priority list.
It's used in quite a few sports all over the country, and I'm not really concerned at this point in time.
As for Lindsay, until research proves a connection between crumb rubber fields and cancer, the 14-year-old plans to keep on goalkeeping.
I love the game, and that's what I'm here for.
We reached out to one manufacturer of crumb rubber turf. That company pointed out there is no research that proves a link between synthetic fields and cancer. However, Delegate Simon still believes Virginia needs to conduct its own investigation. He intends to introduce a new bill next legislative session that would mandate a study of crumb rubber turf. Kristin Smith, 8 News.
You could tell something big was happening in this Midlothian neighborhood. Signs, balloons, and warm wishes for a young woman named Haley Lane.
We're so happy that you're still with us and going to be healthy and a happy person, living a long life, and we welcome you back into our hearts and our neighborhood.
Welcome home!
Haley came home today. 6 weeks ago, a devastating heart attack put the 20-year-old in a coma. Doctors weren't sure she would even survive, and if she did, they feared brain damage. But Haley amazed them all. It was the homecoming her family prayed for, along with people all over the world who rallied on social media with the hashtag #WeAreHaleyStrong.
Those little messages, they really kept me going, and they provided me a purpose, you know.
Haley's family never left her side, her sisters bringing music inside her hospital room. And even though she was in a coma, the heart rate monitors showed Haley heard them.
At this point, it's amazing. And everyone knows it's a miracle.
It's really a community story now of prayer and of love and camaraderie and compassion, and we're just so excited to have her home.
I'm so thankful to be home. I feel like I'm Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. I should have a pair of ruby slippers on right now. Clicking them together, saying there's no place like home.
In Midlothian, Kristin Smith, 8 News. Investigators say this video from motel security cameras shows an unprovoked attack. 2 people headed down the stairwell, 1 person headed up. When they meet, there is a violent assault. Watch as one of the victims tries to pull the suspect off of her friend. The pair fall backwards on the steps. Then the suspect gets back up and starts kicking the other victim. Henrico police say that suspect is 36-year-old Kedrick Moody, Meadowbrook High School's new football coach.
They were at the hotel, and they both stepped outside, and Mr. Moody was waiting for him and began to assault the male victim. And during the assault of the male victim, the female tried to intervene, and he assaulted her as well.
Police arrested Moody early this morning. He's charged with causing malicious bodily injury as well as assault and battery. According to court documents, one of Moody's victims suffered a concussion, broken bones in his face, and lost 3 teeth. That man had surgery today. The other victim, a woman, is going to be okay.
One of the victims involved in Mr. Moody had a previous relationship, and we think that could be the catalyst for the event occurring.
Notes on court records confirm the female victim is the mother of Moody's children. Moody was just hired in January to coach at Meadowbrook High School in Chesterfield. A spokesperson for the school says Moody has been serving in a volunteer capacity. Mr. Moody has not been employed by the school division in any capacity. He will not be participating in any school division activities pending the disposition of the charges. Now, Moody is still in custody tonight on a $75,000 bond. He's been ordered not to have any contact with the victims. Moody is due back in court in May. Reporting live from Henrico, Kristin Smith, 8 News.